All right, we are live. Welcome everybody to Wi-Fi Wednesdays. My name is Kevin Z. I am founder and CEO of MyWiFi Networks. And Zoom actually really improved the way it works. So now if you ever do a Facebook Live with Zoom, you are able to literally queue it up. And when you click live, you are live immediately. And it gives you a nice little unique chat window. Doesn't play the music live. It actually pre-mutes it. And it also gives me the chat bubble. So before it was kind of difficult for me to see the live chat on Facebook Live. Now they made it easy for me to do that. So welcome everyone to this week's Wi-Fi Wednesdays session. Nothing too exciting this week unless you live in Europe. If you live in Europe, you have likely been hearing about this for a long time. You have asked me this question for a long time. And also, I mean, anywhere in North America, you'll see that what I'm about to share with you is actually a new feature. It is something that a lot of you have requested for a very long time. Most marketing companies, most specific, even like, borderline medical clients, not doctors or offices, so to speak, that have different compliance methods, but anywhere that really want that extra mile of compliance. That's what this week is going to focus on, and it comes with some brand new features that we are launching momentarily in the Wi-Fi dashboard. So welcome everybody to this week's session. Let me just dive right into it. First of all, I covered this last week. So for anyone that is interested in making some extra cash on the side, or who has other friends or family or partners or people that you've spoken to that essentially are interested in launching their own social Wi-Fi marketing business, or already have a digital agency and want to have their own white label, or even clients or hardware manufacturers or sellers, I should say, resellers that you've spoken to or chatted with, and they want to do this themselves. You can now share with them a direct link to a few of our products, but specifically the same one that a lot of you have signed up for with a setup fee, the 3-month trial, and then onto a monthly fee. You can get 30% recurring commissions for each referred customer. So every time you refer somebody to us, we're going to give you 30% lifetime recurring commissions. I can show you quickly how this looks, where to find that inside your dashboard. So not now, obviously I want you to pay attention, but once you are on your computers, open up your dashboards. And on the top here, you'll notice a link, affiliates. Click on that affiliates tab. And if you are a customer, you have already been pre-registered to become an affiliate and a referral partner of our platform. So you'll see over here, this is a new account. So a lot of you, when you sign in, you're going to see a lot of zeros. So 0 signups, 0 clicks, 0 customers, and 0 money that we owe you. What you want to do first is set your PayPal email so that we can pay you once you start referring commission and users to us. And then you'll get 30% recurring commission on each referred customer. What you can do is we've given you a few links that you can send. So if you want to send somebody to our homepage of launchmywifibusiness.com, simply go here, copy that. You'll see if I open up a new incognito window, for example, and I paste that over here with my unique referral link, it brings you to our sales page. Again, nothing for you to sell or do here, just share that link. If somebody goes through that, I can show you over here. If I refresh this, I'm going to have 1 click, or actually I'm using the same IP, that's why it's not registering, but you'll see the clicks come through. In addition, you'll see any signups you've had. Anybody, once they sign up, you'll see exactly what the reward is, and you'll get that always calculated inside your dashboard automatically. If you want to send people to a encore or replay page, you can go here. By all means, go check this out yourself. You can 1-click share on Facebook, on Twitter, or on LinkedIn. Let everybody know if you are a partner, or essentially, and if you have good things to say, please share it. Let everybody else know that they can sign up here. If anybody uses that link, you get 30%. And just to also mention, if any of you who are looking to do this, I mean, sharing the link is one thing, but even getting on a call with somebody who's considering this and letting them know, hey, this is why you should buy it, and having them use your link, you'll also get 30% recurring commission on this. Now, you can't use it for your own account. So if you refer yourself, you can obviously apply this discount for your own account, but anyone else that you refer, you'll be able to get 30% lifetime recurring commissions on that referral. So you find it on your top menu, the affiliate link, and then you get that 30% reward if anybody clicks through. Now, the big news for the Europeans and for anyone who does business in Europe is on May 25th, there will be a GDPR deadline. To tell you a little bit about GDPR, essentially, and if you want to look at this, I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos and Google results that'll summarize this depending on how you want to consume the information. So I'm not going to go into, I didn't create any slides to explain what it is. If you're in Europe, you know what it is. But generally, what it is It's the General Data Protection Regulation. I believe that's what it is. And what it does is it creates a streamlined process where users can easily opt out of communications. We make it very clear, they require everyone to make it very clear how the data will be used. In addition, if anybody wants their profile information deleted or wants to request their profile information, so let's assume that I'm a user and I've connected to a Wi-Fi network and you've captured my email, my name, and all that stuff. And then later at a point in time, I'm like, you know what? I don't want you to have my information anymore. There needs to be an easy way for me as a guest to request my information to be deleted and permanently deleted, even though it's encrypted already, it to be completely wiped from the system. So we've spent a lot of time and did a lot of work to making our platform GDPR compliant. So this is what is happening. This is what is going down by the May 25th deadline, which is happening next week or in the next little bit. All European locations will have GDPR enabled by default. I will show you how that works in just a minute in the dashboard. This includes both existing and new locations in Europe. So if you have a location that has an address in Europe, or if you do any business in Europe or in the EU, this will be enabled by default. You cannot turn this off. Also, on guest opt-out, so you'll see in a minute when I demo this, when a user goes in and says, no, I don't want to share my information with you to do things, and if GDPR is enabled, if you are a European location, or if you want this enabled, even if you're not in Europe, you can enable this if you want, no data will be saved, and automations will be disabled for that user. So what happens here is if a user goes in and says, I opt out, and again, I'll show you this in a second, no data will be saved, so we will not share or even save their information. It'll be completely hashed. Their name, email, anything personally identifiable will not be saved, and automations will be disabled because obviously that user or that guest did not give us permission, so we're not going to give you permission to take that data and move it to any third party or any other location. Finally, guest links to opt out or request their data as per the GDPR compliance guidelines. If a guest connects to a location and then later wants to request, hey, what do you know about me? Or can you delete my information or give me the package? There's a unique link and a process which we'll be launching very shortly that allows guests to enter their email or their phone number. They'll then get a link to confirm that they are who they say they are. And once they do that, they'll be given the package of all the data that we have on them and the ability to one-click delete that information and terminate themselves from the system if they want. Now, again, just to repeat, this is not our idea. Trust me, we did not come up with this. This is simply come out from the European Union, and it is a mandatory compliance guideline that effective May 25th, we are going to follow, and we are going to put the rules in place for you to follow it. Obviously, if you don't follow it, there are potential severe financial penalties and major issues that you could get into, which is obviously why we are moving fast, and we have already enabled this in the background. We are turning this live and everything effective May 25th, that if you do not take action, we will effectively enable this for you on your locations, on your European locations. So let me show you how this works and how we made it as elegant as possible. So what happens is from the guest view, and I'll actually show you this live in the system in a minute, but if a guest connects and you have the opt-in enabled, there's going to be a new screen that pops up that says, hey, you can write whatever you want here. You'll see, hey, we want to subscribe you to our newsletter, or we want to share your information, or we want to enter you in a contest, specifically what you're going to do with that information. And then you can type in yes or no, or you can customize what you want these buttons to say inside the dashboard. This is found inside, and this will be found inside the campaign section. On the advanced tab, you'll be able to turn on compliance, where you can set your opt-in text, your legal disclaimer, and your buttons. So that is exactly what the header, the disclaimer, and the buttons are over here. And then if you want to enable GDPR compliance in the system, and I'll just read this out to you, if a guest does not confirm their opt-in consent to this form and you have your GDPR compliance enabled, we will pseudonymize the following guest data fields: email, phone number, etc. We will also not dispatch any automations for this user. Okay, so this is going to be obviously hard-coded for European clients. You can turn this on or off if you're outside of the EU. You can also leave this off and just turn on the opt-in form. Let me just show you how this works, because really, if you're not in the EU, and let me just skip to this, because if you're not doing business in the EU, and like most of our customers, to be honest, are not based in Europe. So if you're not based in Europe, there's no worries. There's nothing for you to worry about. This double opt-in, in a way, is a new feature for you. So you're able to now have that extra layer of opt-in. Any client that complains, hey, people, I know that people give me their email to connect, but if we send them a newsletter later, they might get upset saying, hey, how did you get my email? This is all weird and everything like that. So we want to be able to just ask them another question saying, hey, are you sure you want us to share this information, or this is what we plan on doing? Do you agree? Okay. And that's a new feature for you. Okay. But if you are in Europe, you don't have a choice. You have to follow these rules. You have to have it enabled. Anyone that is doing anything weird on the GDPR side, or if you're taking existing client data and you're not following these rules, we will terminate your account effective immediately. This is if you're located in Europe and we are to find that you are breaking the GDPR rules. We will, without hesitation, likely will warn you and give you 24 hours to fix it. But if you've done anything irreparable, you'll be shut down immediately. Not to be a scare tactic. It's just to really let you know that you got to take this seriously, and because we're taking it seriously, and we are making sure that that you do too. So if you're in Europe, make sure this is enabled. You will have no choice. All European locations will be forced GDPR enabled. So let me show you how this actually works inside the system. I'm going to show you in three areas actually. So first is under locations. So if you're adding a new location over here, and let's, for example, do Starbucks, or let's do something a little bit more of a landmark. So let's say I want to do the White House in good old USA. So that does not have to be GDPR compliant. If for whatever reason I wanted to do that, I can enable that. Like if the US government decides they want to do something that's similar to this, you can just turn that on and that'll work. But you don't have to have it on if you have a location that's outside of Europe. On the other hand, if you are adding something like the Eiffel Tower, it will be on. You cannot turn this off. Okay, I'm trying to click here. I don't know if you can see or hear, but you can't turn this off. It is forced to be on. You can complete this whole profile, obviously, make sure this data is correct. You cannot turn this off if you have a European location, and that's what happens when you save it. You'll also notice over here, as it gets generated, this is GDPR. We have a little seal that we're adding to show that this location is GDPR compliant. So first of all locations are going to force that. And what happens there is if you create a campaign, if you're not located in the EU, this is what it looks like. So you can go in here, edit campaign. You go to advanced. Okay, so let's actually just start this off with like a realistic client. So let's go create a Facebook page. Let's say I'm doing it for Starbucks. I take their Facebook page URL for those who are new. That's an awesome way to get started with a campaign. Then I click on the advanced tab over here. And then I'll notice over here, there is a new area called compliance. Okay, I click on this. Over here, if a guest does not confirm their opt-in, we will not dispatch any automations here, just to be clear. So if a user says, even if you're not GDPR compliant, if a user clicks no, we will not allow you to do any automations with this user, because obviously if the user says no, and then we let you take that email and you send it off to Salesforce or ActiveCampaign or Entreport or whatever you're using, we can't guarantee that you're not going to send that person an email. So that leaves that leaves you ultimately liable. So we're just doing this to protect you, that maybe your staff doesn't know, or maybe somebody doesn't know that you're not supposed to email somebody if they click no. So we actually disable the automations. Let me just show you the two options here. So you can turn this on as well. GDPR compliance right in the dashboard. You can customize what this is. So we will share your information with advertising partners. Are you sure? So for example, I get questions like a lot of people say, if somebody opts in, like, how do I sell the list? Obviously everything is in your terms and conditions about what you can and can't do. But this makes, another question that we pose is like, beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm a guest. I see this when I log in. You cannot be more clear than this. We will share your information. We are going to sell your profile data. Are you sure? This is very extreme, but you can write whatever you want as long as you are truthful in what you are really going to be doing with that data. If I have this enabled, and that's all I have to do, literally, I can change this to, to yes or definitely not. You just as a thing, or no, I don't want to save whatever it is. Click on save. And let me just preview this right away. So this is obviously on save. It is live immediately in the campaign. And if you enable this in your dashboard, this is what you will see. So I'm going to connect to Starbucks. Let's imagine I'm a guest. I'm connecting to a GDPR compliant Starbucks right outside the Eiffel Tower. I go here, I connect with email. I enter my email address. I click on connect now. And it's going to ask me over here, we will share your information with our advertising partners. Are you sure? Yes or no? I don't want to save, obviously, depending on what your call to action here is or what you're saying here. We put another link to the terms again. So even though they accepted the terms when they connected, here we are referring to the terms. So it is available on the page. The link is right there. So this will, again, have your custom terms or whatever you have with your legal information in there for you white labels. And over here, you ask the user if they click on no, again, to be clear, automations are disabled, and if the GDPR is enabled, we don't even save that person's email or phone number or anything that's unique to be able to contact them. Okay, so that is something to take note if you're in Europe and you have that. GDPR is on by default. If you have double opt-in on, which is also required, and someone clicks on no, we don't save any info. If you are not GDPR compliant, so if you don't need to be GDPR compliant, you have it disabled, but you still want the double opt-in, and somebody says, no, I don't want to save, we still save their data. So we don't, hash the data. You still have the data there. We just don't allow you to do automations with it to protect you ultimately from mistakenly using the data after a user said specifically, no, I don't want to do this with my profile data. So again, this is live. So I'm going to click on yes, for example. It's going to take me right to my redirect page. And then once I click on next, it'll take me to my redirect URL, which in this case, because it's auto-generated, is directly to Facebook. So that is something to note specifically about the GDPR in locations and in campaigns. And then also in the quick report or anywhere that a location data is shown. So over here, if I just pull up this timeline, again, I was doing a preview, so you won't necessarily see it here, but it's going to be anonymized. So you're going to see a lot of stuff. Specifically when you're in here and you are looking at somebody who's connected with GDPR compliance, it's going to be similar to this. Like it's going to show you the profile is going to exist, but it's going to be like blurred, and you won't be able to export that data, and you won't be able to run automations on that data. Again, not our idea, guys. This is GDPR compliance that is required, and that is how it's going to work. Okay, so if you're in the EU, please follow these rules. If you don't, we will make sure you do. If not, we will obviously not be working together. But if you are not in the EU, look at this as a new option. If users want to be able to have a double opt-in layer where you have that extra layer of asking the user specifically over here, as I showed, just want to pull up the preview again. So once I opt in and connect, actually I can show you right here. That extra page where it says, are you sure this is what we want to do with your data? The option to click yes or no will ultimately determine whether they are double opting in or not. Required for some advertisers. A lot of bigger clients really want this. They want to kind of avoid the lawsuits because those are the targets. The smaller clients don't really care about this. But if you're talking about any big fish, they usually are been asking for this. And now you can enable that right inside your dashboard. So we have another massive feature, probably one of the biggest new additions to our dashboard. It was supposed to be ready for today. We just missed the deadline of me going live. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I might show you, give you a little tease of what it is. It has something to do with devices. It also has something to do with the ability to add new devices in a brand new way. So I'm going to just tease you with this a little bit. Specifically those who are, let's say, at a Starbucks in the Eiffel Tower and are wondering, I want to plug in some open mesh hardware, but I'm not a very technical person and I don't really know how CloudTrax works. I don't know what a whitelist is, yada, yada, but I do know how to copy and paste an API key. And I can click right here and learn how to do that and simply go to my CloudTrax account, copy and paste, come right back into my dashboard, copy and paste that, and I am synced up and ready to go with no fiddling with an open mesh setting, no messing around with a whitelist or figuring it out. None of that. Let's say I have a Ubiquiti Unify set up and I want to be able to do the same thing, I can do that right here too. Let's say I have a Cisco Meraki network and I read my instruction manual. No wizard here, unfortunately, but this takes probably about 2 minutes to set up. And then I'm right in here, and let's say I want to add some MAC addresses. I can add them over here one by one. I can add them in bulk. I can do some really nice things once this wizard is launched. It is our brand new wizard. And let me tell you guys, this is probably the biggest thing that we've launched to make it easier for you to deploy hardware. I don't want to ruin the surprise, even though I kind of already did. This is going to live very shortly, in addition to a whole bunch of other cool things right in the dashboard. So if you use any kind of hardware, whatever it is, we're going to make your lives a whole lot easier. Standard setup is still there. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, that's cool. If you want to give us an API key, we can set it up for you automatically. All right, so that is coming really soon. That makes things a lot easier, especially when you're deploying other types of hardware, such as our hardware, or you have any kind of other things you want to push forward. We give you the firmware to install, and not for this, obviously, pre-installed firmware, but with all the TP links and all that, like everything's been organized. We have a nice way. Let's say I'm using this one. I can go right in there, add my MAC address. Once it's added in, I can go proceed and then get my firmware right over here. Follow the instructions, all listed all over here. That is obviously, I'm just on a testing platform here. The links are not mapped up, but you will have everything available to you to do this super easily. All right, do you guys have any questions I can get to right now? This is launching ASAP, hopefully this week, maybe next week. We have another surprise that I'm going to be showing you, though. We're kind of revamping the entire devices section. So that wizard is a part of it, but it's more than that we're going to be updating. So hopefully it'll be ready very soon. And definitely by next week, by next Wednesday, I'll be able to demo that live for you. So question about Ubiquity. Yeah, their API is not the best. Unify, until recently, made it very difficult to even work with them. They made some changes on their end, so hopefully that is all positive and good to go. Now, beyond that, I know that we are constantly in direct connection with them to improve the speed, the authentication speed. Sometimes it takes up to 5-7 seconds for a user to get authenticated. That is totally due to their API not letting us know to authenticate the user, not giving us that that two-way sync. If you want to hit them up, then let them know. Definitely, let them know if there's a way that you can do it, and put some pressure on them too, because we're doing everything we can on our end. But I know that it works. It's great, and this new wizard will make it even easier for you to add your Unify connections. All right, cool. Well, yeah, we can chat offline about that. If you're putting pressure on them already, we can definitely help you get what you need. Yeah, if you have any questions about the affiliate program, 30% recurring commission is what you should see. If you see anything otherwise, let me know, and I will get that fixed up for you. Now, I want to just actually, those who see 20%, I want to just be specific, because there are two different programs here that we are working with. I'm just going to run back, because those of you who do see 20% in your dashboard, just want to be clear that we have a few different programs here. So if you are referring corporate partners, and this goes for anyone that is referring anybody at MyWiFiNetworks.com, it is a different product, to be honest with you. It is a little bit of a different platform and setup, a different way that we price. It's kind of on a per location basis. So that per location basis is available at MyWiFiNetworks.com. At the bottom, you'll see a little thing for affiliates. If you sign up there, you can refer people to MyWiFiNetworks.com at 20% recurring commission. Okay, so that if anyone is coming through that channel, that's 20%. So definitely make sure that you let us know. And just looking at some other questions here. Yeah, and I do have some open mesh information, depending on your volume. If you're spending, let me know what your spend is, and I can check with open mesh to see what kind of discount you can get. I'm not available to publicly mention the discounts that you can get with them, but we are working to potentially get you free shipping through our store with open mesh hardware. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that, because I think we can definitely look at making that work. So if you do, you spend, let's say, more than $300 or $500 at the store, which is not hard with open mesh. It's a little bit more of a costly device, but it's great quality and all that. So we might be able to get you free shipping. Let me know if you're interested in that. I can hook you up with that. Yeah, any questions for me, just hit me up on the support. This little bubble, just ask for me, and you can get it escalated to me, and you get that chat with me directly, and we can chat over there. And just to reiterate, questions, support questions, go there for support. If you have questions about your any of the marketing materials that are specific about you're having a installation problem, let's say we don't support WordPress or anything, but if you have any questions around that realm, go to support, because that's where we support that stuff. Everything else in the Facebook group is really meant for sales, for strategy, for features, for software, for working with it and succeeding with it. Anything that you need on the support side, or you want things explained to you differently. I mean, the reason that we don't encourage that in the Facebook group is because people who look at the Facebook group for a valuable resource are busy selling. They don't really want to read the beginner questions that have been covered many times. And obviously questions are valid to have. That's why we have the support desk. That's why we have the search feature inside the Facebook group. So make sure you've gone through those channels, and also ask our support team as well, because we'll be happy to help you directly and kind of keep the Facebook group for more bigger picture stuff, for more sales, marketing strategy, things that can really add value to others, versus help personally for yourself, because that's what our support team is here to do for you. All right. Any other questions of anybody on the call right now? You can type in the questions on Facebook or on Zoom directly in the chat box, and I will answer them right here. All right. I see I'm opening up the Q&A tab over here. So GDPR is necessary if you serve a customer who has any attachments to locations in Europe. So if you're wondering, ask your clients, do they have to be GDPR compliant? If they say yes, then you should enable this for them. Anybody has any affiliate marketing questions or the JV questions, just send a message to our support team, and they will send you to the right person, likely me for now, to handle that question. Yeah, when GDPR is fully launched in the system, I'm going to do a video and post the instructions in the Facebook page and in the support group as well. And yeah, good idea by Mike. We can look at potentially creating some GDPR slides or features, kind of like similar to what we had over here. A little bit of information. And I encourage you that, we're not spending too much time on GDPR, because to be honest, like I said, the majority of our clients are located outside of Europe. So with all due respect to that, we're just going to be proportional to how we train on it. We're enabling it in the system. We're going to give you support. We're going to let you know how it works. And then we're not going to talk about it anymore, because it sucks and it's boring. It's not necessarily like marketing, exciting stuff. It's compliance. Compliance is always boring, but it's important, very important to do. And if you're in Europe, pay attention. If you're outside of Europe, don't really worry about GDPR too much. And yes, you need to ensure that if you are having clients yourselves, you need to incorporate some legal terminology, or your terms of service, or everything that you do needs to be compliant. So we don't provide any legal information here, obviously. But if you are wondering what to do, just consult a local representative or a consultant that will help you with that, because you got to make sure that you are compliant with that. So question, other programs offering services for like $40 a month. I think they can be compared. Like you can get free websites, right? You can go online and create a free website for free at GoDaddy. You can go to Wix. You can go to probably 1,001 different website builders and make your own website. Why are agencies still selling websites for $2,000, $5,000? I saw a website. My buddy just sold a website for 90 grand. A website, like nothing complex either. Like it's a joke. He's building the whole thing for like $3,000 or something. He sold it for 90. You know, that what happens? What's the $87,000 markup? That's through strategy. That's through support. That's through handholding. That's through confidence. That's what you're selling. So I wouldn't compare you with a $40. Like, yeah, eventually people are going to give away social Wi-Fi for free. And people are going to be like, how can I compete with free? I mean, if you're asking that question, you're not getting it. Okay, because getting it is realizing the value that you add, the strategy, the ability to work with that data, to automate that data, to do fun things with it legally, is what people will pay you for. Okay, and that's ultimately where you are coming in with the value. Yeah, actually, another guy, Kevin, on the call just made a great point. Just ask the clients who they can call when the $40 service stops working. I mean, that's a great thing to ask about. You know, people pay the premium because they know that number one, the platform is top notch. Number two, the marketing strategy is compliant and it is kick ass. You know, it has some really cool automated features that I guarantee you no $40 solution has ever even heard of. And I think beyond that, it's simply people pay premium to feel that they're taken care of. They pay for trust and confidence, and they pay at the end of the day for results. So if you can provide results, clients will pay you whatever you ask, as long as they are making more money than they are paying you. So yeah, I had somebody's asking about the difference between our websites. So those two are legacy partners, or what I mean, who have signed up previous to us going a little bit more corporate. In your dashboard, you have links to those sign up programs. They have typically a setup fee, a monthly fee of around $300 per month, and you get that link. That is, you can share that within your dashboard. Those are for people who are really looking to start Wi-Fi marketing for the first time. Looking to literally like launch their Wi-Fi business. So these are pretty much refers that have never heard about social Wi-Fi before, have no idea what Wi-Fi networks are about. You know, they may be connected to Wi-Fi before themselves, but they're not very technical, and they probably own a local marketing agency, or they do some kind of digital marketing and are looking for a new tool in their toolbox to be able to create a new revenue stream for them and their business. So that are legacy partners. You guys know who you are. You'll find that in your dashboard, the Launch My Wi-Fi Business in your dashboard. And that is that one side. Those are people who are really just looking to start their business for the first time. Now, the other side of the spectrum is MyWiFiNetworks.com. MyWiFiNetworks.com is our corporate site. That is a standalone white label. It's a little bit different than the legacy plan. It is based on locations. So you pay by location, and we start at 30 locations for $299 per month. And then as you grow, you're able to very flexibly go beyond 30 locations. And that ultimately is that program over there. So those are the different kind of silos, depending on who your client is. If they are a hardware MSP, or they are, they already have OpenMesh or Meraki networks, send them to MyWiFiNetworks.com. For that, you can sign up for that separate affiliate program inside MyWiFi Networks. That's obviously if you're going to be sending clients to that site. Separately, if you are a legacy partner, the link inside your dashboard are to share with your friends and family, or anyone who's looking to get started for the first time with Wi-Fi and who wants like a fixed monthly fee, who is likely adding this in addition to their existing services, and who are doing social Wi-Fi for the first time, kind of just getting introduced to the world of guest Wi-Fi. Yeah, and actually, I have somebody mention that it feels like they're going through the first day of university because there's like so much information. I am working personally on helping organize that information inside our members area. If any of you on the call would like to help me with that personally, that obviously we'll invite you to our group, and you have to be passionate about writing content and strategy and making things easy to understand and organize. It would be a paid slash internship position with benefits. So if you're interested in helping us with some of that content, please let me know. Just shoot me a note on support or on Facebook Messenger, whatever it is. Let me know you want to help, and we can organize something to help us with that. Because we're obviously looking to grow, and I think there's no better partner like Thomas on the call. I should mention, shout out to Thomas and our support team. He was actually a longtime client of ours, and he came over to actually be an employee or a partner with, employee with MyWiFi. He heads up our support team now. So there's definitely opportunity of working with us on a closer level. If anyone is interested, just shoot me a note. Let me know how you feel you can contribute, and we can talk about that. Awesome. I'm happy to hear those who are aligned on the call. Always love to hear that. All right. Any other questions I can get to while we're still live on this Facebook Zoom Wi-Fi Wednesday? All right. Last call. So question, if the person first opts out, but then opts in at the same time, I don't understand the question. Let me just read this again. So anyone that opts in will always get like GDPR. We always ask the client, like somebody can change their mind. They're very sensitive about that. So they get asked every time the user connects if they want to get information, if they're coming again, just part of the rules. And actually, if they want to opt out later, once they click yes, we usually once they click yes, we have that data, you're free to use it as long as you follow the guidelines in which it was used. But if the user ever comes back and says, hey, now I don't want my information shared anymore, they'll have the ability to delete that information from the system. So question, someone's asking, Guillermo's asking, could you create a user that's basically a clone of the admin? So we do actually have a master white label plan. We don't talk about it essentially with a lot of partners, but if the requirement is there, if you'd like to have multiple accounts that you manage, so it's essentially different instances of full white label admin dashboards that are multiple of those. Plans start at around $1,000 per month. That include multiple accounts and a whole bunch of new features as well, like more administrative features available to you. If you're interested in that, shoot me a note also on support and just say that you're interested in the master white label, and we can chat also. But plans start at around $1,000 a month, and you have multiple accounts. You have admin dashboards, you have global dashboards, you have your own SSL setup. It's 100% totally white labeled. So if you want to get in the business of selling white label dashboards yourself, two ways. Obviously, affiliates can just share a link and get 30% for life. Or if you feel that you can make more than 30% margin on reselling this solution for 500, 800, 1,000 a month, whatever, and you're only paying less than $297 essentially for the program, you can also do that on the master white label plan. So yeah, anyone who feels that they qualify for that, and I mean you have a legit business, you have definitely minimum a few dozen hotspots yourself set up and a lot of other partners, and you want to get into the game of reselling entire white label dashboards yourself, then shoot me a note or support on Facebook and ask to chat about the master white label program. Got the question to quickly go over how a legacy customer or any customer can brand their own dashboards. Now, I'm going to actually just quickly dive in and show you here on branding. So how you brand your own dashboards, you go into branding inside your account. Here you can change your logo. So that logo goes over here. You can change your site title, your legal name, your support link. So all that happens in on your actual system license agreement, for example. Your mobile agency is what I entered there. And you'll see that in my legal, this is all injected inside the entire legal agreement. This goes for both the platform legal and also the connection. So when users connect and they have the option to, or they have the requirement to accept the terms and privacy policy, that is all with your information. You can obviously go in there and override all of that if you want, but you can go in here and brand it. You can also brand your colors, your background, your menu colors, your hover colors, all that stuff. You can also brand your fave icon URL. This is the little icon that shows up in the top over here. You can't see it because it's kind of dark on dark with my dark browser, but it's this logo that is showing up inside the browser tab. And then finally, your custom control panel, social portal, and overall custom portal domain that you can also enable here. All this, please go to support right over here and search for branding. And over here, you're going to see all the answers you need. And actually, just to give you the direct overall where it can all be found is in the branding section. You can see how to custom URL for your dashboard, custom URL for your portal page. Everything is listed here step by step. How to set this up. It's as simple as setting up a CNAME. If you haven't done a CNAME, YouTube it, super easy, but we do give you all the instructions on how to enable that. Once your CNAME is set, you'll be able to have your live previews and you'll have your, you can enable your portal, but everything's listed here, super easy to do. That's how you do it. And once you're done with that, anytime your clients or sub-users log in, they will see your domain, they will see your logo and all the stuff that you want them to see specifically. All right, and those who like our materials, I appreciate that, Tony. Those who like our marketing materials, we are creating a whole bunch of new stuff. If there's anything you need or anything that's recommended, please let me know. I know already on the list, I have a standard webinar. I have a presentation that's like white labeled, which is essentially me presenting social Wi-Fi to a local business, but I don't mention my name. So you can do an intro, you're a special guest, I talk, you do the exit, and then you sell. So that's something you'll be able to use. Any other ideas that you have, please let us know. You can post that stuff like that in the Facebook group. That is what the Facebook group is for, all the sales and marketing and the exciting stuff. Anything technical or platform support oriented, please chat with our support team. Yeah, that video, I'm in the middle of creating the presentation for it and then going to record it, and I will share that all with you. And you can reuse it all you want. That's what the purpose of it is for. All right, last call for questions. All right, I think that's it. Well, if any other questions, please hit me up in the support group, and we'll be happy to help you. Those who attended live, thank you so much. Those who have been watching the replay, appreciate your time in watching this. Again, I'm super excited for some of our new device options and wizards coming up very shortly. And anything you need, please let us know. Any feedback you have, also let us know, because we're obviously here to make things easier for you and more lucrative to sell social Wi-Fi marketing. On that note, thanks everyone. I appreciate your time, and we will talk soon. Take care. Bye.